Really, this trip was about getting back to our roots and going home to a country that we've, never really been to before.
Right now, you look at the statistics. I think it's about 63% of our young women in this country cannot read or write. Our teenage pregnancy rate is about like 38%. About 64% of them drop out of school even before they reach 5th grade. Most people say if you educate a girl or a woman, you educate a whole country.
Liberia, corruption is in surplus, while patriotism is in scarcity. A lot of those who are in public offices do not care about the people they serve. All they care about is to enrich themselves. And this has been a culture. This has been a culture in Liberia. This has been a system in Liberia. Corruption is deeply entrenched in public service. So if we want to avert any incident of war or civil crisis, the government must demonstrate accountability and transparency to the people.
This More Than Me Academy, the parents do not want it to be shut down because it's such a good school as far as schooling and education. They're willing to have their children be put in these compromising positions of possibly being abused or possibly, being traumatized and, needing therapy that we don't do that. They don't do it in the Black community. We haven't gotten there in the African community either. But that just shows you the desperation and how they want to move their lives and their children's lives forward.
But the hospital we have a need for everything. Just everything. Just think about it. From gloves to MRI to dialysis. Just everything. Currently, Liberia's children, about 30% or more, have malnutrition problems. So they might not be severely malnourished, but one way or the other, they have some issues with being on par for weight for age.
This trip was very interesting and emotional in so many ways, both in terms of the stories that we're hearing, but also the experiences of walking the grounds that I knew my parents walked as children, and seeing the things that because there's still some of the same buildings there, seeing the same things that they saw as children, but in a very different way.
A lot of things were very sentimental. A lot of things were very surreal. It was very humbling because you hear so much growing up about where you come from. You hear the stories, good and bad, and you can listen to those stories and you can relate to those stories or empathize with those stories, but you're kind of just going off, obviously, the perceptions and perspectives that you're hearing them being told by. And it's a country that is in so much need of rebuilding, but at the same time, a country that is so full of potential. So when you look out and you see the beautiful beach and you see the beautiful rocks and the sand and just the waves and how gorgeous it is, and you just stare up at the palm trees, it's gorgeous. It's a beautiful country. And then you turn around and you see, like what Skye was mentioning, some homes that, may have been damaged because of the war and maybe never recovered or fully rebuilt or renovated because of the happenings that occurred during that time period. I just know for a fact that going to Liberia makes me want to go back to Liberia. Speaking to all the people that we spoke to during this trip motivated me to want to make more of a change.